He's the greatest hellraiser in rock history, and he seems to be unstoppable.
As the mayor of Hollywood, I hereby declare this Ozzy Osbourne Day in Hollywood.
Celebrities, Hollywood stars, Ozzy Osbourne.
I had no idea that when I left Sabbath that I would go on and do bigger and better things, and then add the TV show and the star on Hollywood Boulevard. It's more than I'm expected to wake up and go, bing! It's all been an incredible dream.
Once described as every mother's worst nightmare, Ozzy is now welcome in every home. From the White House to Buckingham Palace, where he sang for the Queen at her Golden Jubilee concert.
I think Ozzy was more amazed than anybody when he was asked to appear for the Queen at her Golden Jubilee concert. It was quite a respectable lineup until that point. It was people like Sir Paul McCartney, Rod Stewart, and suddenly out of the blue, Ozzy was asked to appear and sing Paranoid. And it came just a few weeks after he'd been invited by President Bush to the White House. And as Ozzy said when he received that invitation, I thought I'd be on a wanted poster on his wall, not invited to his house for tea. He can't quite believe that he's become so respectable that he is invited to the White House and the Palace. And you know, he was overjoyed, he was very proud, and the crowd went absolutely wild and just loved it, because what's great about Ozzy is that although there's an element of him that has become respectable, he's never respectable enough that you can totally trust him. You never quite know what he's going to do, and when he walked on the stage at the Palace, everybody watched to see would he behave himself, would he swear, would he say something he shouldn't. And apparently it emerged afterwards that he'd actually knelt in the wings before he went on stage, saying a prayer, praying that he wouldn't swear. So you never quite know what you're going to get with Ozzy.
I mean, somebody says to me, are you ever going to write the book? And I mean, I've got a fucking library in my head, but it's remembering it in chronological order. I mean, the one thing that I regret not doing is keeping a journal, you know. I mean, my story is fucking very unique. When I started in 1968, and if somebody said to me, you know, in the year 2001, you're going to be doing this and you're going to be doing that, I'm going, what the fuck is it, you know?
But someone else has been taking notes. For nearly 30 years, Stephen Rosen has been following Ozzy's life.
I started writing for Guitar Player in '73, and it was in '74 they said, you want to go to St. Louis and do a story with Black Sabbath? And I said, that would be unbelievable. And I remember telling myself that when I walked through the door to their hotel room, part of me said that the thing that we saw Black Sabbath portraying, the devil stuff, and I said that's not going to be there. I'm not going to see that. But a part of me said that there could be some strange stuff going on here. In any event, I knocked on the door, and all four guys were sitting there, and they were just unbelievable. I mean, from the first moment I met them, I don't know what it was. I'd met a lot of musicians before then and since then, and there was just something very, and I don't know if people would use this word to describe Ozzy and the rest of these guys, there was something very sweet about the guy. He was pretty drunk. They were all doing drugs. And if truth be known, I joined him a little bit, you know, but it wasn't a belligerent thing. It's like the more they drank, the more open they got. And it was just like they had a show to do in an hour. And Ozzy, I remember Ozzy just sitting there on the bed for as long as I wanted to talk to him. He was going to sit there and answer my questions, you know. He was just unbelievable.
Little did he know just how up close and personal he was soon to get with Ozzy and Black Sabbath.
I think Ozzy and the band were trying to bring me into the fold, as it were. After their show at the hotel, we went back to the hotel. I had my own room, and I hear a knock on the door, and I open the door, and it's Tony, and he has a fire hydrant that he's pulled off the wall in the hallway, and there's a huge hole in the hallway of the hotel. Comes into the room, sprays everything in the room, my room, that I'm responsible for, with this fire hydrant. I must admit, I thought it was pretty unbelievable. I mean, if you're going to trash a room, you're going to trash it with Black Sabbath. I mean, part of me thought, I'm going to have to pay for this, and part of me thought, I really don't care. He comes in, he does this, sprays me, sprays the entire room. Ozzy and the rest of the band come down. Ozzy sets fire to the couch. I mean, we're talking a serious fire here with his lighter. Sets fire to the couch. The fire is now burning. The sprinklers come on in the room. We push the couch out into the hallway. I thought, well, I've got to get my lick in. So I take the television, hotel television, or bolted to the wall or to some kind of a platform. I rip the television off and I throw it out in the hallway. And we proceeded to trash the entire hotel. I mean, we broke mirrors. We were doing drugs in there. They had to bring up, I don't know if it was a fireman who came up to put out this fire, because this couch was really burning. The alarms were going off. Some women showed up. They knew Sabbath was there. And there was two girls, and these two women, they joined the party. They got naked, and it was everything you read about. And for a young journalist to trash a hotel room with Sabbath, I mean, I got to tell you, it was one of the highlights of my life. It was fun, you know. And at the end, when I was checking out, they said, well, you have a bill here of, I don't know what it was. It was $5,000. I thought, bill it to the magazine. I didn't have $5,000. Sabbath ended up paying that bill. Obviously, it was letting off energy. They had the money to do it. Nobody got hurt. It was all in good fun. But I really believe they were trying to show me, hey, you're cool. You're the new kid, you know, and I know you're doing a story for Guitar Player, you know, and we want to let you know that we really appreciate that. I believe that's what it was. And it goes through to everything I've been saying about Ozzy and those guys. They're just very sweet guys. Which doesn't say they're quiet or low-key, but just everything they do is kind of generated from a good place, you know. They're not evil, they're not mean people, which is why they've always been some of my favorite people in the whole world to interview over and over.
The odds seemed stacked against Ozzy ever realising his dream, escaping his destiny.
The way to go, the way I was brought up, it was you get reared, you get a job, you go to the pub, you get married, you spend your weekends in the pub, and then got to work until you die. You know, have kids, and then life goes on, and the kids support you when you're older, that kind of thing, which it was a pretty grim outlook.
In Aston